Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Manoj Atri, your host for tonight. I am a real estate agent with Remax Hallmark, and we also have our expert mortgage brokers with us tonight, Faisal Garcia. And let me get a hi from him, and then we can take it from there. Faisal, sir,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How's the weather at your end? It's going
um,
to rain tonight. It was raining during the day anyway,
mhm.
and it's supposed to be snow tomorrow.
Yes, and heavy one I heard.
Yes, heavy one, and perfect time to be indoors and watching a webinar.
I would say so.
Sure. Any update for past 2 weeks?
Um,
In the meantime, I'm just trying to check if we are working fine on all. At the moment, we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah, no major update, but I do see the market going into a little bit of a holiday season.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you see, but I'm seeing a little bit of slow, sort of, sort of lower numbers of applications coming in.
Really? But
I'm
I mean, shouldn't be because of the interest rates. I see that some of the interest rates are going higher.
um they haven't changed anything yet, but there is
Can you hold on
i-
1 second?
sure.
Okay. Faisal, I'm going to slightly increase my volume.
Hmm.
Is it going high or is it going low? Can you tell
It's
me?
going high. It's going high.
At the moment, it is high enough.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Is it slightly higher now?
A little higher, yes.
Okay, because on the audio there was a complaint and like it's not going as high as possible. Okay. Uh, can someone give me a yes if the volume is good enough, and then we can take it from there. Okay, Faisal, go ahead. I think so. I did increase the volume, so you must be hearing me a bit louder. Is that right?
I am.
Okay, I'm hearing you loud and clear. So let's keep on rolling, and
So yeah, basically the
okay, so basically, this is what is happening. When I'm increasing the volume of yours, it
mhm,
is your volume which is coming higher to me.
mhm.
Okay, I may have to speak higher then. Okay, I'll try to speak higher. Okay, let's see if I can speak higher, because what else could be the. Uh, okay, let's see.
In the Skype there is a setting where which I had to change last time.
Okay,
Um, in Skype audio, there is underneath the camera, there
okay,
is automatically adjust microphone setting. I had to turn it off
okay. Why?
because then the system doesn't adjust the microphone setting. And I went maximum volume on microphone, 10.
Okay, okay.
Auto-
So
Automatically adjust microphone setting. You turn the switch off,
I did that. Automatically adjust microphone settings. Adjusted off
and
on.
then take that microphone, adjust microphone. The next line, the one that says 0. Yeah, yeah. Take that and go 100. Go 10.
Okay. Does
Yeah,
that
they
make
should be.
sense?
They should be better.
Okay, let's see if, or I may have to speak slightly higher.
It should be
Abhi
better.
bhi halke. Okay, so, okay, why don't you speak more then? That is all what we can do tonight then. Okay, let me see. I will see what I need to do in the meantime that I can increase my volume here. Okay, let's see. And let me see if I can do anything with the properties of this one. Or now, let's see if I can. Let's see. I think so. It should improve now.
Maybe it's the other one.
No,
Maybe
see,
you.
it is the mic. Mine is the mic, and yours is the desktop one. So I think so. It should go higher.
Yeah, but
because
the one
now
below
I
your mic, if you increase that, does that help?
no
Go maximum.
see if I reduce that one, then it will increase it automatically. Earlier
I
it used to be at 10, so that was it would suppress it. At this moment, I can hear myself. Let me see what I need to do. Echo also, okay. Now I'm going to go here and see, is the echo off now? Yes. Let's see if the echo has gone off completely. And I think so it should improve now, because I can't hear the echo now. So at least the echo part is resolved. And let's see here. Let's see if I can keep all of them at 50 and bring this one much better. Okay. Okay. I got a thumbs up. It's gone better.
Perfect.
Okay. So we are back to the glitches that we were handling. Those glitches are slightly down and we are doing fine. Yeah, I see. Oh, wow. Yes, I see my volume now almost. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it is
pushes
completely
all the way to the end.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so finally 4-5 minutes into it and we are back to business. Okay, let me guide them to our topic of the day, and so that we can start this particular one, because we love to chat and we'll be chatting all over the place then.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a piece so that I can go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, let me walk you through the agenda of the day today. So the agenda of the day today is, again, thank you for joining. And there are a few which have joined now. So we are all fine now. I'm starting with my real estate monologue today. And in the real estate monologue, after that, we will cover an article for 10 ways for beginners not to lose money in real estate. The real estate monologue I am going to give you a heads up is whereby I always give you the insight is real estate is basically an investment. So you have to think it over from that point of view. And that is where we will cover this particular articles in line with that, like for beginners not to lose money in real estate. And then we will cover our main article of the day, is rent to own good in today's housing market. And I will go through the details of this particular one, walk you through this one. And alongside, we have our live interview with our mortgage expert, Faisal Garcia, with Dominion Lending, and he'll be along with us and taking, in case if there are any queries, he will be there to guide us accordingly. And let's see if we can all get you some more insight into something of that sort. What I was trying to do here is, I was trying to see if somehow LinkedIn had picked it up.
I see.
I am still like 4 or 6 weeks I've already done there, but they haven't come on board. So that is where we are. You want to go ahead with something? Go ahead, and then I'll start explaining something more.
No, I see the topic is quite rich. 10 ways for beginners not to lose money in real estate. This is, we're approaching end of the year. One of the big New Year's resolution is to buy a real estate buy your own home is usually one of the big um, uh, um, New Year's resolution. So 10 ways for beginners is perfect timing.
Okay, that is where things are. Let me clarify that. I got the left hand side cleared of you, so there was some Skype info showing, which I just eliminated. So I'm getting every day. I think I've now learned how to go for it, but the glitches are not leaving me behind. Anyway, but you have to give me credit. Within 5 minutes, I managed to fix it.
Sir, when computer is not our industry and we are still managing to do this, you are actually managing to do this. That is hats off to you. Because this is another fact and we love to chat, so I'm going to cut this short. Skype is the easiest software to get on for our clients.
Makes sense. Okay, you're also doing a lot of Skype and you're finding it good?
There's many since this pandemic, all the new applications have come out. Yeah, Zoom, Google Meet,
Skype, yes.
Many of them.
Okay.
But Skype is like by default installed in our clients' phones and computers.
Okay.
And YouTube is of course there. It's extremely popular.
Okay.
And now you've even broadcasted on more than one media, so that even helps further.
Faisal, you cannot imagine how you always tell me like you're like a child in a candy store, and I'm loving this particular part, because the main thing here is like see on Twitter you could not do like a 1.5 hour webinar, so reaching there, I'm just trying to waiting for some more audience to add, so that we can get started on the topic. And so I'm very happy because on both those channels, they are working perfectly. So that makes me very happy. Like not only one, because you reach more audience, and you don't have to go and play those things again. They are right there. And on the right hand side, can you imagine if I get a chat from any three social medias, they're coming at one central place.
Wow.
And I can answer them and they can receive it at all three different places. So that is some of those interesting parts. Okay, anyway, let's start with the article, and the real estate monologue is, again, whenever you are trying to buy real estate, it is an investment. So make sure you buy extremely prudently. Keep the emotions under check, which we have discussed in our various webinars, that you need to keep the emotions under check. And once that is done, then you are making it is a numbers crunching. Make sure the numbers are crunched properly, and you have a very good idea that you are buying at the right price. Because if anything goes wrong, and then there are lots of instances that you could be in a more bigger trouble than you can even anticipate there. So that is, wow. We have a new subscriber. Hi, Kenny. So welcome, Kenny. And see, that is what I told you. We are like I'm able to access, do this and access. So we are reaching there, sir. Okay, let's head over to the. Give me a moment here. I need to head over to a certain place where I can start going through this particular article of the day. Okay, this first article is by Realty Biz News, done by Brian Kline on 6th of November. 10 ways for beginners not to lose money on real estate deals. So it is like trying to walk you through. Okay, like whenever you're trying to do your first purchase, don't end up losing money. Now, again, when it comes to real estate investing, do not become emotionally involved in a deal. Perfect. He just picked up my entire thought in his first line. I always do not fall into the love with real estate. It is a number crunching thing. Once you have bought the numbers and all the numbers are right, then fall in love with the property. But initially, like, see, what happens here is, I'll give you an example here, Faisal. See if it makes any sense to you. Give me one moment here. Let me get you online here. I had a client, and we were in a condo complex. 2 condos. One had the numbers right. Absolutely, the numbers were good, even below the market value. The second one was, she was liking it like crazy. She said, I just want this. And the numbers were almost 10%, roughly $50,000 above the asking price. And she by chance had her friend who used to be in the mortgage business. So she was accompanying, so both of them were there. And now, for 2 to 3 hours, we were going from one condo to the other condo to the other condo to the other condo. And the main thing here was, my only thing was, yes, it is nice. This one is not that nice, but you can spend $5,000 or $10,000 and make it like absolutely the way you want it here. But and even when you will spend 5 or 10 here, it is still below the market value, and this one is already above market value. Finally, this was my suggestions to her. After 3-4 hours, and the mortgage, the lady with the mortgage background, she went with me. She said, no, what he's saying is making sense. Should not buy overpriced property. And in the end, she bought the one that we were suggesting and making the numbers right. And can you imagine? Her scenario changed. Her circumstances changed. The person whom she had bought the property for her daughter, now wants to move to another city. And she had to sell it. And I said, and she later thanked me, like, had she made that problem, she was down by $100,000 straight shot. There was nothing. 50, 60 you have already bought. Closing cost is there. Then the real estate fees is there. You're down by $100K within 3 to 4 months. Now, because we had bought it at the right price, we broke even, completely even there. Because there was some margin, and we had bought it way beyond below the asking price, and so it turned out to be. So in the end, the gist here is, do not get emotionally involved in the property on the first go. The numbers have to work right, and then you act on it. If you want to add anything there, Faisal.
Yeah, you did say this differently, same item. You don't fall in love with the real estate before you buy first, and then you fall in love.
Yes, the numbers have to work. Real estate is an investment. The numbers have to work, and no matter what kind of a property you are, even if even at times when you are paying higher, you need to know the numbers are still still manageable for you.
Yeah.
You have to exactly even know, because even we have bought some properties which were above the asking price, but we knew exactly what was above the asking price and why we were doing it and what was our time frame to act on it. So when I say that the numbers have to work, is even if you're buying higher, you need to know how much am I paying over and what is the purpose that I'm paying over. It is not that you go blindly into it And then you come to know, why did I purchase it higher? Because why was I in such a multiple offer situation and I kept throwing my money there? Go ahead, sir. I can take a breath.
Yeah, no, it's there are some properties that are listed low for like just to get the traction, just to create a bidding war, and yeah, that is one where you really have to be diligent and on top of it. Yeah, you're right. Numbers have to work. All of it has to make sense.
Awesome, sir. So let's go to the first point of the article. And the first point of the article is don't over leverage the property. Absolutely. So crunch the numbers. Let's give you don't over leverage the property is you get, when you are in a multiple offer situation, you get into a hype.
Yeah.
There are like 5 or 7 other people standing next to you.
Yeah.
And they're all bidding. It's a hype. And you can back out of it. I'll give you an example here. And it is not that we have never bought higher in the market. But the main thing here is there are certain properties that you can go higher.
Mm-hmm.
But my main gist here is I'll give you an example which we had done as with some investors.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a bidding war with 13 other biddings.
Mm-hmm.
And we had gone through the numbers crunching. Okay, this is the property. This is how much the construction amount will be. This is the time it will take. And this is the amount of profit. Now, we had worked backwards. Like if you pay more than this particular number, it will not make sense.
True.
Now, there is also something else that has to be learned here. When you are in a fixer-upper, you have two kinds of buyers. One is a buyer who wants to fix it and stay on his own. And one is an investor. Now, the buyer can go slightly higher, but the investor cannot go because, and if you're competing with investors, then you have to know how to deal with that situation. When you are with
Absolutely.
Buyers and investors, you have to back it out because, see, the buyer can go higher than you. As an investor, I cannot go higher because I'm giving away my margin here. Now, we were in a situation where we had 13 other bidders. But in that situation, we completely knew that 90% of them are going to be investors because the property was so highly damaged that no buyer without can get a mortgage on it. So these are all cash buyers. Now, there is a limitation on cash buyers. And now, let's say suppose if a investor, he has $1 million to throw. He will not be like until and unless he's making another 200 or 300, he won't indulge into it. So you have to categorize it and understand those numbers. And to tell you frankly, in those 13 offers, we managed to take it out. So that is how much you have to make sure that the number crunching is done. And you have to know, I'm paying higher, but this is my upper limit. And these are the reasons that I'm going to give it to you. So do not over leverage the property or try to understand the whole equation, all the number crunching before you act. And we are experts. My background is architecture. So, and when we have bought properties fixed and sold, so we know the numbers inside out. We will run them forward, we will run them backwards, and we'll tell you where to stop, where not to stop. So do not over leverage the property. And that is where, so if you're a first time buyer or anyone else, you have to have a professional who can guide you with these numbers. These are very, very important. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, what the way you go through, it's not. I've seen many not first-time buyers even learn dramatic amount of information. For example, I do remember doing a mortgage for a client. It was a sale and buy. It was a brand new client for you. They had sold with someone and then they were buying. And we did some numbers and it just boggled them. They didn't even understand. And I had to sit down and explain my part and you explained your part. And then it all made sense. But had they ran that number before they sold that property, they shouldn't have sold the property. I remember that case.
Amazing.
I mean, we tried extremely hard to make it work, and we did make it work. But yeah, it was quite a lot of challenges that the client went through just because they had done something where they had not ran the numbers beforehand. So it makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense. Okay, let's cover the second part of it is be conservative in your cost estimate and schedule. Very, very important. Okay, now let's explain you in a different way this particular same concept here. Faisal, people have to understand that when they are trying to buy a property, they are starting negative 5 to 7% minimum. And if anything goes wrong, within 6 months, you're down by 10%. And let's explain you how. You buy a property for $500,000. You have put down $25,000, out of which $20,000 or dollars have gone to CMHC. Are you with me?
Yep.
Okay, so 20,000 have gone there. For a $500,000 property, you have another $5,000 or $7,000 as closing cost. You are now at 27. Easy there. 27 is gone. Now, let's say suppose in 3 months or 4 months time, you have to break the mortgage. You're down by 3 months penalty. That's another $3,000 or $7,000 to $8,000. Now we are at 35,000. And you have to pay the real estate agent to sell your property. That's another $25,000 waiting for there, you know. Okay, so 35 plus 20, you are at $60,000, which is more than $10,000. So the day you pick up the property, you're down by minimum 10%. So if you do not make the right choice, you will land up in trouble. What do you have to add to it? This is the easiest I can break it over.
Yeah, when you pick up the keys, you already have dug into your own equity, and you need to make sure that, it's important because CMHC, closing cost, mortgage penalty, and if you have to sell the property, the cost of that altogether, you're breaking even.
So this is the negative that you start with, and these are all the fees that you have to pay. There is nothing coming back here.
Yeah.
Really, it is so that is what I wanted to highlight, and let's see what the article had to say especially. And then yes, there are some cost and schedules for repairs and things like that.
Absolutely.
Which have to be taken care of, because the moment you are in trouble, you know, like the day you purchased the property, the fridge was running well, the furnace was running well.
Yep.
And the moment you moved in, both of them stopped working.
Yep.
Now both of them will require money. So you have to keep some money for these kinds of things that can come in on board. Or even if you don't have, you should be able to have an access to it. Should be able to where you can access those funds. What do you have to add to that, Faisal?
Yep. Nothing more to add, to be honest. It's exactly what you said.
Okay. The next one is very, very interesting, Faisal. Okay. Use common sense. 100%. 100% use common sense. Let me see if I can get this volume to this particular one. No, it's already at 150. Okay. Zoom in is very good. Okay. If someone is offering to sell you a property at deep discount, keep in mind that when something seems to be too good, it's probably okay. Yes. This is very, very common. And most of the time, I have explained to many people in a very, very different format there. Most of the time, when you use the term common sense, like people will come and ask me, like, power of sale. Oh, that's a discounted property. I have to literally walk them through. It is not a discounted property. It is a property at market value. Okay, let me, because I have to give some examples here, see if I'm not taking too much of your time here.
Yeah.
Faisal, two properties, one being sold by a seller and one being sold by a bank. The bank will get the appraised value and also will ask the real estate agents to give the value of the property. The seller is on a different path. Let's say suppose both of them are told that these are $500,000 properties. The seller will tell you, why don't you put it at 550 and let's see if we can get someone. Let's try out the market. The banks will try to put it at the market value of the property. So now, when you see a $500,000 property which is being sold by the bank and a 550 next door being sold by a seller, you see, oh, this is a deal. This is a deal lying here. It is not a deal. It is at market value. The banks, they can be sued if they sell that property at a discounted price.
They have to explain themselves.
They have to cover their back. And I can, I'll tell you an example, see if it makes any sense to you. There was a power of sale I was trying to buy. And I had given all the comparables and everything, and I sent that offer to the lawyer. And he says, yes, your numbers are all correct and there is no other offer on the table. But I'm not going to accept it today. I said, why? He said, let some other offers come. I said, because of that number crunching. And he said, no, I mean, I have to make sure that this is the right price. So that is why use common sense. If it is a discounted property, it will require that much amount of work. And you have to also see why it is lying in the market for so many number of days if it is a discounted property. Properties are going like hotcakes.
So every time, I mean, the property price that is listed can be manipulated in so many different ways. I shouldn't say manipulated, can be presented in so many different ways that you really have to do your due diligence, deep, work the numbers, do the due diligence to really come to a conclusion if this is a property, if this is a good buy or it is not.
Faisal, I can even still go with your first word, manipulated. Yes, it can be. See, as a real estate agent, Faisal, as a real estate agent, if I'm trying to sell your property, I'm supposed to get you the maximum amount of dollars for your property. That's my job. You get my point?
Yeah.
So I will have to see it from all angles, how I can put that together. How much is the traffic that's coming to the property? What are the queries that I'm getting back? And if and how's the market taking a turn? You remember we had one property which we were having difficulty in selling.
Yeah.
And no one would give us our price. And even they were any number that they would throw, it was like they are doing an obligation on us.
Yes.
And then we said, no, I mean, at this number, we will lose the money even that you had put in there with the repairs and everything. And we waited out for a few months and the market turned around. And we got even more than we could have anticipated there. So when it comes to common sense, yes, please go through the numbers, go through the market, go through the areas. Look at 15, 20 properties in that particular area to get some very good ideas there before you indulge into it. Go ahead, Faisal. You want to add something to the common sense?
It's hard. This is something, it takes professional guidance. Not everyone actually thinks that way. So it needs thorough professional guidance.
Let's head over to the next part here. Proper due diligence. 100%. Don't try to think that your cousin who is a contractor, he is doing the right job. He's a contractor. He's not the home inspector. Am I making sense on this one? Proper
Absolutely.
due diligence. This is like a $300 or $400 or even $500. You do not know that. You do not know what is missing here. You need to have an expert, because see, here you can maybe able to wanting to save $400 or $500, and suddenly there will be a $10,000 waiting the moment you move into the house. And you see all these articles on a regular basis that this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, and no one is taking care of it. Sir, you were supposed to do your due diligence. You had the home inspection there. Don't get, and even if you're like trying to buy a property in multiple offer situation, try to get the home inspection done before the offer date. There are lots of things, because see, you're trying to buy a property which is $500,000, $400 and $500 will down the line is insignificant.
Yeah. You'll save that much more, like you'll save 10 times of money.
Yes.
Maybe more.
90% of the times, let's say nothing comes out of it.
Yeah.
But let's say suppose even one thing comes out of it.
It's worth it.
It is worth it.
It's worth it in any case, because I will say one thing. After doing so many home inspections, I can say confidently as a home buyer that it gives me the comfort that I'm walking into a home where things are checked off. It's not like something it's not like something I cannot expect. So it just gives you the peace of mind. It gives you some clarity as to the property you're buying, what to expect. Good, bad, ugly, everything.
Yes. And I mean, if you have your friend or your family member as a contractor or who has a good idea about the properties, bring him along with the home inspector, but don't eliminate the home inspector. Do your full proper due diligence. A must.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No choice.
No choice. Yes, you cannot take you cannot. Okay. And ask the question. So he is probably covered good contractor approach and everything. And the next one is also covered it up with always get a professional inspection of the property 100% of the time. Now, I'll tell you even something interesting on this home inspection, Faisal. On a new build, you generally do PDIs, pre-delivery inspection. And I'll tell you example, and I used to always, like from day one, in the pre-delivery inspection, I'll guide them one step ahead. What they used to do is that the person will come with you and they will tell you, sir, this will be done by the time of closing. Sir, these are all small stuffs. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then nothing gets happened. And now, by the time you go and complain, that person who was there with the PDI with you, he's already gone. There is someone else here. Okay, completely different. Okay, he said that, sir, we don't know what he said. We threw him out also. They can come up with any story. Now, I'm going to add something here. If you are trying to buy a new build, it comes under home warranty. There are webinars and seminars that are done by the home warranty program. Go and attend them beforehand if you're trying to buy a new build property. You will come to know exactly what all you need to do. They have their websites, they have all their queries, they have all their notes, and then when you are with those PDI, tell them this is not there, this is not there. Okay, he'll say everything will be done, no problem, everything is going to be done. I'm just noting it down so that we have a paper trail. You cannot be intimidated by that particular person there. And so now immediately you have to send it by email also. These were the things that were not there on this particular day. The day I moved in, this is not there. Then you get a 30-day window. In that you have to write it down. So it's a process, because let me explain it to you why I'm saying all this. Recently, one of our clients, your client also, we bought a new build. And I met him after 1.5 years because he was wanting to buy another property. And he said, the new build, within the first year, there was leakage in the basement. You don't expect that. It's a new build. But obviously, it will be taken care of. But the main thing here is the due diligence part. You need to know what will happen if something goes wrong. Yeah. It is a must that you need to address that. Go ahead, Faisal. You add your.
Sir, I have a long story.
Okay.
On that. I think we should keep it for some other time. It's 7:43.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I have a long story.
Okay.
And it's a good one.
do you want to cut it short and just?
Sure. I'll do a quick fast forward.
Sure.
Not your client, but another client of mine. I did the mortgage for.
Okay.
Back 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
He bought a penthouse downtown in Distillery District.
Oh,
penthouse.
awesome. Okay, nice area.
Okay, and penthouse.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
In the drawings, there's closets, 2 closets.
Okay.
In the master. One of them is fine.
Okay.
In pre-delivery inspection, one of the closet has pipe running in the center of that closet.
Oof. Okay.
Okay. Nothing is being told. No, nothing. Client finds out in pre-delivery inspection.
Okay.
They close the property. and then client keeps following up.
Okay.
I don't think actually they did the pre-delivery inspection. This was problem after.
Okay. Okay.
Client just mess. Bad.
It
When
is.
you're
It is
when
very
you're buying a penthouse, you're buying in Distillery District, you're paying top dollars, you're expecting 2 closets, you have 1.
Wow. Wow. And I'll add something to your penthouse story. Penthouse is very nice, but there is a problem with the penthouses. You have a flat roof. You have to be extremely careful about that particular one. Okay. Now, when you are sometimes in the middle of the condo units, you will say, oh, I don't get noise from top or bottom. It's a penthouse. There's not going to be noise from top level. There is another problem there, sir. You need to get that checked up. You need to get the roof checked up thoroughly. Is there a leakage? Because once there is a leakage from a flat roof,
Oof.
it is extremely difficult to get it repaired, sir. Flat
worst one.
roofs are a nightmare. Okay, let's we will go continue with the stories. Otherwise.
Exactly. The stories will keep going on.
Okay. Have a clearly defined partnership agreement. A must. Everything has to be in writing. Small things even in writing. If you're buying with someone else, what are your, like how much you have to pay, how much I have to pay. If something goes wrong, then how do we split the money? And it could be even a divorce situation. You were married by the time you entered into the building and now you have separated, and how to, this is the common queries that we get. I paid the down payment and now he's not signing and he wants a share of the profit. Very common query that we get. What do you have to add on that particular?
Keep things on piece of paper.
Absolutely.
Not verbal.
Yes. And even like, let's say suppose it's your family member, even if it is someone, friends or anyone, what is the percentage share? Who's putting down the amount of money? If something goes wrong, this is how we have to get it done. And even if you have discuss it with a lawyer, and you may be able to have a separate agreement there.
Yeah.
Percentage share, and equally, like if I'm not wrong, can you also on the title come up with like, okay, I have 90% share and he has only 10% share. Can we do that?
There's ways to do it. 99-1, 90-10, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. I've seen all sorts of numbers.
So you, and what do you just tell the lawyer at the start or what?
That, and the lender has to allow that. There's work to be done, not just at the lawyer's office.
Okay, so you have to clarify them at the start.
You have to clarify this going from
into the transaction.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome, good to know. Okay, now let's cover the next one, which is don't pay a guru for an education. Faisal, I've paid a guru for the education. Yes, I've myself done that. Go ahead. What do you have to add? Then
I've done that. I've done that, and I sometimes still do it from time to time. Not something you can change, depending on what you're paying for, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's signing up for these courses.
And it says $4,000 weekend seminar, and I've paid close to that.
So we all have been in that trap. Right?
Faisal, I'll share my part of it. Is like this particular part is don't pay a guru for an education. It is true. It's not wrong. Like, see, now after these number of days that I see it, but somehow I'll explain you in a different way. Okay. My background is architecture, and I have always looked real estate from an investment point of view.
Okay.
And what I was trying to do here is buy a property, fix it, and sell.
Okay.
That was the concept behind the entire format. Now, you become a real estate agent and you are assisting others also. You're doing the real estate part, not the investment part.
Cool.
Okay. Now, I knew what the real estate part was, how the forms are, how the entire business works and things like that. But I was missing the ingredient for investment. And that's when I attended this webinar, a 3-day webinar, close to 4K, which was paid around $3,500. And that's also like in 2003, 2 or 3. So quite a long time ago. The main thing here is, once I came out of that webinar, they had approached real estate in a completely different way. So then I matched the two together.
I see.
And it was like I was very happy with it, extremely happy with it, because now I could see real estate from 2-3 different angles.
I see.
How do you approach it from an investor point of view? How do you approach it from a real estate buying point of view? So you could mix those two particular things, and it proved very, very good for me in the end, because I was adding another feather there.
I see.
So architecture background I had, I had the real estate part covered, now the investment part covered, contracting, getting a property fixed up, I knew all those particular things. So this was like another chapter which I could learn, and it helped me tremendously. I mean, real estate became crystal clear to me after attending that one. So on this particular one, when I was going through it, I said, how do I address this particular one to the people? I said, I'll just share my experience. They can take it, out of 10, maybe 9 are good. So it will depend upon your situation. That is what I would add to this particular scenario there. Go ahead, Faisal.
Yeah, and I have always learned this. I've always believed this, that anything you learn, you pay for. If you can take one thing away from that, whatever you're doing, the weekend course, the seminar, the reading, the YouTube, listening, the webinar that we're doing, if you can take one new thing away, or even a reminder, is good for you. Helps you in many, many different places than you actually know.
Wonderful, Faisal. Really appreciate that. Yeah. So on that particular one, I had a mixed bag there. So now let's cover the next one. Don't buy properties without viewing them. Absolutely yes. No way. Okay. What do you have to add? And then I'll add something else to it, Faisal.
Photographers are extremely creative.
That is true. That is true.
You will see a 10 by 10 kitchen looks like 15 by 20 in a picture.
True.
So I think I'll leave it there. That's just one of the example. There's many. And there are then proper photographs ones too. But the angle, the lighting, all of that, it's very hard to judge a property from its picture.
Absolutely. See, this is where those pictures, because of the COVID or because of the circumstances or because of everything, they are an extra tool to tell you about that particular property, but they are not the actual property. Let's suppose, yes, I would go with this one. Before visiting a property, yes, go through the photographs and maybe you see, no, this doesn't meet my thinking, blah, 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 fine. but not buying the actual property without viewing it. You can, you have 10 listings to view today, and go through the photographs so you can eliminate, like, okay, 4 5 we are not seeing them because this is not, I'm not looking at fixer uppers here or anything else that is not matching. But do not buy a property without seeing it. And I will add something else to it now. Okay, apart from viewing the property, apart from actually going and seeing through it, walk through the neighborhood. Absolutely important. You do not know who's living down the
Half
line,
a block away. Yeah.
half a block. Who's living there? Who's living next door? You don't know. And how will you get along? I mean, what's exactly happening in that neighborhood? Also, go to the nearest police station once you have narrowed down a particular property. Go and ask, what is their crime rate in that area? Go to a Tim Hortons or some other coffee shop there. Sit down there. See what kind of a crowd comes in there. And see if there is anyone whom you can talk to and ask, how is the neighborhood there? Or when you are walking on that road, try to do it in the morning, afternoon, and evening. And then ask, how's the neighborhood, from anyone who lives in there for a long period of time. I'll add something else to it. If you have to add something, then I'll add something else to it. Faisal, go ahead.
No, nothing to add really. The neighborhood, checking out neighborhood is extremely important.
Okay.
Walk around, go play coffee shop. It's something I've done. First few properties. After that, I got a good sense. But yeah, it's important. It's extremely important. You'll find so much about it.
Faisal, I had a client, a female client, and she knew the area very well. Okay. There was one property which was not selling, and it met all her criterias and everything. So we figured it out. I mean, like, the price is right, the property is right. What exactly is wrong here? It's lying there in the market for a very long time. Okay. I did my second search on it and went through some of the other details into my box, and I came to know, no, that area is not that great. Okay. I went back to her and I explained her, like, this is my input from various sources, that no, don't go ahead with it. The neighborhood is absolutely not right. She was not happy with that input of mine. Huh? And she said, no, I know the neighborhood very well. And Manoj, I've dealt in these neighborhoods many times. Don't worry about me. Okay. Faisal, literally, are you with me on this one?
Yeah.
I said, okay, let's do it one thing, just for the peace of my mind. And she says, I come back around, because she was a waitress, so she used to come at late shift hours. And I said, why don't you do one thing? For tonight, you are very confident. Why don't you give it a try? Because my information that I am getting is like, no, this is just a place to keep away from.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we will put an offer. This property is not going anywhere. It's been lying there in the market for such a period of time. Everything is fine here. And the next day she said, this was her words: thank you for persisting not to do that. She was able to handle that kind of neighborhood or the clientele, but she said, no, this was beyond me. And when she came at the night, she said, no, I just told the taxi person just to run away from that area. So neighborhood is extremely important. The viewing the property is extremely important. Going around that particular area is extremely important. You will be stuck up in that particular property for minimum 2 to 3 years, and like a good chance is 5 years. Go ahead, sir. Faisal, add to it.
Yeah, you do want to make sure that you can. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's something you don't know the neighborhood until you actually walk past that. You know, n- you get a sense basically if you do walk or go for coffee or something like that in the area.
Yes,
That's when you really get a sense.
awesome. Let's add the next one to it. The next one is, don't think you are buying a discount property when you are not. We went through this particular one.
Hmm.
Material defect and the properties. When the property is at a discount, it is there for a reason.
Exactly.
And even now, let me add the same format to a power of sale properties. The power of sale properties on day one, they are at market value. Yes, they do become a deal after 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days after they are getting their thorough review by the banks when they have made sure that this property is not getting sold at this particular price. And then they keep on reducing. Yes, at a certain stage it may become a deal. That is true. But on day one it is not. So when it is a discounted property, you have to go through a second layer of check that now why it has become a discounted property. Is the neighborhood wrong, or there is something else which is missing? When a property is discounted, you have it should be a kind of a red flag that goes in there. Why is it at a discounted property?
Absolutely.
The moment like and I've done this another number of times. I enter into a property.
Hmm.
It is a perfect property. It is rightly priced, and it's lying there in the market for a long time. Immediate there is a red flag that goes there. Why it is not going out? Talk to the listing agent, talk to the neighbors. There is something that you are missing. Otherwise, properties, they go very fast if it's right priced, and if it's in a good condition, and if there is nothing major wrong with it, it will go away.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add.
Go ahead.
Decent condition. You don't even need good condition. Decent condition.
Makes sense.
That's all it needs.
Okay, we are coming to our last one. Always maintain cash reserves. Properties require maintenance, repairs, clogged toilet, water damage. It will deteriorate in time. Proper maintenance and repairs are required. Yes, we are telling you from day one that yes, you need reserve. And even if you don't have reserve, you should have access to it. Have a line of credit. Have some cash back. Have something that you can ask for in an emergency. Or like, let's say suppose you're doing the furnace or AC and things like that. There are rental companies where you can take the furnace on a rental basis, where you can take the AC on a rental basis, but you need to know those things beforehand. And you need to know what exactly happens if something goes wrong. Just don't have running from dollar to dollar. You will run into a major problem there. We're at the end. Go ahead. What you have to add to it, Fad?
No, you're right. Always maintain some cash flow, because having financial cash flow problems will put you in such a bad mind frame that you will feel like all the walls are closing on you.
Absolutely. Okay, Faisal, this brings us close to our this particular one. Let's see now. Let me take them over to our article of the day. So we are here on the article of the day. So we have covered the 10 ways for beginners not to lose money. We covered 9 very good ones. One is up to you how you figure it out. And now, is rent to own good in today's housing market? Let's see, Faisal. What do you have to say on this particular hot topic?
I mean, it's not about the market. It's really about the client. if you, yeah, like I wouldn't say, like, if you can buy the property, buy it. Rent to own is when you have no other option, really. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. Okay, let me guide them further on this particular one. So we are on our article of the today is rent to own homes good in today's housing market? Now I am going to give you this breakdown in 5 steps. So I'll explain you what exactly is a rent to own home and why I call it a worst case scenario. So that is always how I explain it over. And why do I call it it's the most costliest program? Then next is rent to own versus buying numbers. And the last one is it good in today's market? Even in my other webinars, I have always covered that before you indulge in rent to own homes is a worst case scenario. It is the most costliest program. Only in one situation it is in a good buying. And so whether it is today's housing market or yesterday's or the day that comes tomorrow, it is only if you understand that condition, then it could be a good one. Otherwise, you are dealing with the worst case scenario and the most costliest program. Do I summarize it well, Faisal?
Yes.
I have always, whenever I've started this topic, I've always explained it is a worst case scenario, very costly program. You have to know the difference between buying and rent. I've also given this, if you have an enemy, tell him go and do rent to own. It is so bad. So you can comprehend that it is a program that is literally the end. Like we are trying to address there is no alternative in the market. Like let's say suppose for argument's sake you cannot get a mortgage and you have goofed up something that no one is giving you a place to rent. That is when you are almost on the road. You may try for rent to own because those are the worst case scenarios. And let's say suppose you have 2 or 3 dogs and no one is giving you a place to rent and you can't get a mortgage. So those are some of the last worst case scenarios. That is what we are addressing in a rent to own situation, and it can be good only in one format and one format only. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, let's take them to the PowerPoint. Okay, what exactly is a rent to own home? Let's give you a brief. Anything that you are not buying today but buying tomorrow. So that is the most simple way of explaining it. And this tomorrow can be anywhere from 1 to 5 years, because most of our investors, they are not comfortable anything above 5 years. Generally 1, 2, 3 is their cup of tea. So now rent to own. In rent to own, remember one thing, you have to down the line own the property. So there is a buying component attached to it. You will have to buy the property at the end of the term. It is not that you are doing rent to own for life. There is a time frame to it. Okay. Now, why do I call it a worst case scenario? And that is what I just explained it. Let's say suppose you are not able to procure a mortgage and you're also not able to procure a rental place. You have ran out of all your options. All the roads are closed and you're going in the wrong way. Did you see my... Faisal, did you see those ones?
I see the pictures.
Go ahead, Faisal, add something to it.
Yeah, I mean, rent to owns is only ideal when...
past bankruptcy. Consumer proposal. Those are the ones that are like that you may be in a situation like those ones, and you would like to add to it. credit repair. That's the best format for rent to own anyway. But at the back of it, make sure you understand it's a worst case scenario and it's a costly program. And to tell you frankly, Faisal, I'm going to run you through some numbers and you'll be amazed. Like, okay, wow, it is. Those numbers are really, really very tough. Okay, let's go through those ones. Now, why do I call it as a very costly program? And I'm going to run you through an example. And I'm going to run slightly fast because it doesn't require too much numbers crunching here. Let's just suppose you're trying to buy a $500,000 property, Faisal. Okay, are you here with me?
Yeah.
5% down, $25,000 approximately closing cost with some discount. I've just rounded it to 6,000, and then total comes to around $31,000. Now the per month amounts are around $3,000, which is mortgage around $2,300, utilities around $300, property taxes around $300, and insurance around $100. It comes to around $3,000. Assuming there is a property appreciation by 5% per year, so after 5 years it is $630,000. Now try to visualize. Here is the interesting part here, Faisal. Had you taken a mortgage on 500, in 5 years your mortgage may be left. If you have to renew, you may be renewing a mortgage of 430. Are you with me?
Yeah, I am.
Making sense here. But in a rent to own situation, after 5 years, you have to now take a mortgage for 630. True? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically it's if you had bought that property, there was $200,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Making sense here? Do the numbers make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It is going to get more difficult here now. Let's explain you further. Now, in a rent to own costly program, continuing on page 2nd, let's say suppose now you are not buying the property, you are doing a rent to own. Okay, let's go through that again. 30, so 6% down payment, lawyer fees is around 1,000, just bringing it so that the numbers remain the same. Okay. Now the per month amounts here are 3,500, not 3,000.
Yes.
Explain you why. 2,600 for rental, utilities are there, plus content insurance, and the 500 extra that is going towards your down payment. Okay. Now in 5 year time, the appreciation option price that you have to buy this property is at 630. So you have to now pay 130 more from the time that you had. Instead of going down, now you have to take a mortgage for 630.
Yeah.
Okay. How much is the difference? So you lost the $200,000 that you would have made, and now you have to buy it at 130K more higher. You are at 330. In 5 years, that is why it is a very costly program. Are my numbers correct? Yes, you will save 30,000 here because of the down payment. Still, it is at $300,000.
Yeah.
$300,000 is a very, very big amount of money, Faisal. So, two people, one would have taken a mortgage for 430 and saved and had 200 equity in his pocket, and now you have to start all over again at 630.
Yeah.
There is a difference of $330,000. So
huge difference.
You have to understand these numbers, and that is why I call it a very costly program before you even indulge into it.
Yep.
Okay, now let's show you something else. Okay, I am going to show you the difference between regular purchase and this particular one, and at the same time, just to show you this here. Had you bought the property, 200K was in your pocket. Now you are down the line at 330. And so always have these two charts right in front of your face before you act in this particular kind of an equation. Now Faisal, I'm going to give you the only limelight that is there, and that is only one limelight that is there when it is good in today's housing market or yesterday's or tomorrow's housing market. Okay, there is only one scenario in which it becomes a very important one. Let's say suppose you bought the property for $500,000. This zero has dropped down here, Faisal. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a lease appreciation at 5%, and now you had to buy that property at 630. Okay, you are buying it at a costly one, understood. But let's say suppose for argument's sake, if this property option price is the price that you have settled with the investor or seller before even you began with this particular option there, okay, and the market value of that property is 700, so at least you will be able to salvage something. You get my point? So if the exact property value is around 700 or even more, then you can still say that you have made some money. Otherwise, there is nothing that you have managed to make in there.
True.
So that is where this particular whole equation is. And what do you have to add to it, Faisal?
That is the only time when this entire equation will work in your favor.
Yes. Otherwise, it does not make any sense at all. Okay, Faisal, this brings us to the end of our web article, and that ladies and gentlemen, that is the reason we call this as a smart rent-to-own program, because we walk you through all the details of the program and its pitfalls and the pros and cons, and that is why we call it as a smart rent-to-own home program. Go ahead, Faisal, you have to add anything to it?
No, I'm all good. It's everything is on the table.
Everything is on the table. We have managed to cover a lot of ground on that particular one. And if you will give me a moment, Faisal, I may have missed a few slides to the so if you want, I can just go back and walk them through these particular slides so they can have a look at it at whenever they are ready. Okay, so I'll just walk them through these slides. So that one's the slide one. Then I had gone through the worst case scenario, and then I had given them some of these numbers, and let's see the numbers again. I'm just reiterating them. Okay, like and this is for a $500,000 property. So on $500,000 property, this is what exactly happens. And then the next one is when you take that same property as a rent to own, and how do you act on it at that particular stage. So somehow I was busy talking to you and missed these slides, and now let me give them these two slides face to face, so that they have all these numbers that they can go through and see how instead of having 200K in your property, now you are buying it at 630 in 5 years time, and it's a huge number, Faisal.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that brings us to the end of all of this. So go ahead, Faisal, if you have to add anything, and otherwise we'll call it a day, and then we will meet all of them for our next after 2 weeks on 14th of December, and we take it from there. Go ahead, Faisal.
No, it's today's webinar was a lot of info, everything that a buyer should know as a first time. Well, not just first time. It's a list that should be followed every time you're buying.
Okay, wonderful. And I am going to give two of. Give me 1 second, Faisal. I have to get to your website so that I can give them the website where they can be in touch with you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let me get into that particular website for a moment and take you there. Okay, so this is the one of the websites where Faisal Garcia is with Dominion Lending, and you can be in touch with him, and he does excellent mortgages and very good rates. And he's again, second website is Credit Repair Now. The first website was faisalgarcia.com, and the second one is creditrepairnow.ca, and he does excellent work for repairing your credit, and there is a fee for it, but it is worth its while, and he has done amazing stuffs there. So that is creditrepairnow.ca, and you can be in touch with him. Faisal, do you have to add anything regarding your websites? We can take it from there.
No, they're pretty simple. Wealth of information, lots of information.
And there is a charge for credit repair, is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
And okay, so and what are your some of the good stuffs, and how fast are you doing? Give them some insight.
So it can be as fast as 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how much work is involved and how quickly the client works with us. We have the speed, but the client has to work with us.
Okay, so basically it is a two-way street, huh?
It absolutely is.
So if you have clients who are willing to work hard and fast with you, you can do wonders with that.
Yes.
Okay, let me take back to the websites there. Give me one moment. And this is a website that is my own website, which is called manojatri.com. You can come over. You must have come over here to register, and then you can go through this particular register here for the webinars. And also these are some of the other things. You can go through all the listings in here. So all the real estate listings, you can be in here and get the latest, just like us. We also have investors who can buy properties in any area, any conditions, and they are cash buyers. I have access to power of sale, bank bank foreclosures, and other listings, etc. You can be in touch with me. I can provide you with the updates on those ones. Zero down with the cashback program. We can absolutely guide you with that. We have done wonders on that particular one also. And rent to own option, stop renting, buy with lease option. You will get more info on those particular ones. The webinars that are there, and then if you have a property to sell and another one to buy, we'll be more than happy to do a comparative market analysis for you. So that is where manojatri.com, you can be there. And the next one which I strongly recommend you to here is called gta-news.manojatri.ca. You can come here where I curate 8 to 10 articles on a daily basis, and there you can subscribe to this newsletter. Faisal, did you get a chance to go through this article that I wrote today?
No,
highlighted today.
No, I did not.
I'll tell you in brief, okay, if you have 2 minutes.
Sure.
Homeowners find tenants gone and Airbnb strangers living free, they say. What happened here is, in Vancouver, I think so it is, okay, in California or so, I think so, it is in California maybe. People bought their property, in Fremont, California, okay. They bought a property and they rented it out. After renting it out, those people with Airbnb, they filled up everyone in the house. Okay.
Wow.
Now, some people complained And they said, and then they went and checked it up on their own, and they found, wow, our property is on Airbnb. They went and they confronted the tenant that they had. So finally the tenant left, but the Airbnb people, they said, no, we are not leaving. We are legal tenants here.
Wow.
Interesting. Can you see how interesting? And because of COVID and things like that, they cannot be thrown out. So then they are now living free there. It was an article on its own, Faisal. This is people misuse things.
You know, your articles, I always find them very interesting. Mondays are a little bit busy days, so it's hard to find time from time to time. But yeah, they're 6 to 8 I usually see. 6 to 8 or 8 to 10, somewhere in between. And every single one has a different topic that is quite interesting. Usually I find 2 to 3 topics that are very interesting that I click on, open, read through, so on and so forth.
Faisal, these by this I like curate it. I email it to all my subscribers, and they give you a gist on what is going on in real estate.
Absolutely.
And the main thing here is, if you are in the market for real estate, subscribe here. It will be of quite an interest to you, and you will be if the interest rates are going down, what is happening in the market, it is a good time to get into the market or not. Those are the things that we will guide you on these webinars, and also you will get some feedback on regular topics, articles that they get.
Absolutely.
Okay, Faisal, with this I bring it to the end, and tomorrow is a snow day. I think so it's going to be heavy snow, and let's keep in safety with COVID and snow.
Yes.
Life has changed. Life has changed.
Drive carefully, everyone.
Drive carefully, everyone. Yes. With this, thank you to everyone. Big time thank you to Faisal for his time and efforts here and expertise. We are very thankful to you on this one. Go ahead,
Thank you
Faisal.
very much, Manoj, for hosting this, because you know, these webinars add wealth of information on YouTube for our clients.
Really?
They can of course see us live, but then they can replay. You know, there are parts that they did not listen to. Well, you know, let's say child was crying or dog was barking or something of that sort, and now they want to go back and replay, whatever, they can do so. And every webinar covers a distinct topic that is very hard to find, specifically professionals, industry professionals, giving you free information, basically.
I appreciate that, Faisal. Thank you again, audience,
again.
and for the time, and thank you again, Faisal. Let's call it a day. Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
night.
Good night. Bye.